Alright, so this is the story of how my one night out in Los Angeles spiraled into complete chaos, and I survived it. Let's go. First off, let me just say that this is not your typical night out in LA. This was a night where every single thing that could have gone wrong did go wrong. But hey, I made it through, and I want to share this with you all because I know a lot of you guys are coming to LA and looking for things to do at night. So we headed over to this burger spot called Father's Office. They're known for their beer and cheeseburger, and they make it tableside. But again, because it was a Friday night, they had the longest wait of all time. They have these awesome couches with built-in speakers so you can listen to your own music. I promise you, once you step inside, you will feel like you've just entered another world. It's super dark with red velvet ropes, chandeliers, and candelabras everywhere. People go absolutely wild in this place. I mean, I was busting out moves I didn't know I had. It's been around since 1919 and has classic Hollywood vibes. I ordered the veggie burger and sweet potato fries, and it was so filling and delicious. Comment below if you've been to any of these spots and follow for more stories and adventures. See you next time. Honestly, I'm surprised I'm not 300 pounds after eating my way through LA for weeks. Then we took a quick stop by Poppy, which is one of those trendy restaurants that's supposed to look like a pharmacy. Started at 8 p.m. and finished at 6 a.m. It was a total of 10 hours. 10 hours of non-stop partying. Here's what I learned. You need a reservation to get into every single club in LA now. LA is all about the views. Whether it's a rooftop bar, a hotel, or a restaurant, the views here are unbeatable. Los Nightlife isn't cheap. Drinks start at $15 minimum and go up from there. LA is full of surprises. Never know what's going to happen next. You just have to roll with the punches and go with the flow. You need to keep your wits about you at all times. Don't trust strangers. Be aware of your surroundings. LA is a big city and it can be dangerous if you let your guard down. It's kind of hard to explain. You just have to see it for yourself. This place gets packed after dinner. You can barely move by 10 p.m. Then we checked out this other rooftop bar called EP and LP. This place has the best. DJ, we decided to end the night with a drive up to Hollywood to check out this hotel. That S, when we met these random twins, who invited us to go check out this other hotel a few minutes away. The twins said they knew someone who worked at the hotel and could get us in. And that's when I should have known things were going to get a little crazy. They drove us around in this beat-up old Chrysler 300. The interior looked like a retirement home with floral wallpaper and wood paneling. As soon as we arrived, I felt like I had entered the set of a crime drama. They dropped us off in front of the hotel and told us to wait there while they parked the car. About 10 minutes later, a guy we had never seen before came and introduced himself as the person the twins knew. He was wearing all white, like literally head to toe white, and started asking us if we wanted to buy drugs. At this point, I'm thinking maybe I should have stayed at Bootsy Bellows, but my friend and I decided to play it cool and said we weren't interested. Thank God we weren't interested. Looking back, I mean, who knows what that guy would have done. I was seriously questioning my life choices standing there in front of the hotel. We managed to escape without buying any drugs or going to jail and headed back to the lobby bar to chill out for a bit. That's when we met this girl who invited us to go check out this rooftop bar up in West Hollywood. She said she worked as a host and could get us in for free. Again, I shouldn't have trusted a stranger in LA, but I was desperate for a drink at this point. We followed her to this unmarked door and she opened it up and we walked in. It was literally like a secret passageway straight out of an old school movie. The rooftop bar was really cool and had an awesome view of the hills, but the vibes were a little off, and there was no music. After a while, we realized why. It was a Mormon hangout spot, and they had brought their own sound system and speakers, and were blasting their own music. They were also really, really nice. And afterwards, they invited us to go check out this famous bar called The Rainbow. It's right on Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood, and it's always packed with celebrities and people watching. It's a very typical bar with high ceilings and dim lighting. I love stopping by here to catch a Lakers game. They have a rooftop pool and a restaurant that overlooks the entire city. You can get a cabana with a private plunge pool. It's a bit pricey, but worth every penny if you ask me. What happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas. What happens at the Standard does stay at the Standard. Every time I've been here, they've had the perfect mix of old school hip-hop and modern top 40. They also have this really chic outdoor area with comfy seating and a great view of the sunset. I'm convinced that happy hour here is the best happy hour in LA. They have $7 glasses of wine and $9 cocktails. It's a steal. So we ended up going to this Mexican spot right around the corner called Guisados. You know, you can never go wrong with tacos at 2 a.m. And also, shout out to these cute little tequila bottles. So we go over all these places I hit up and what I would do differently next time. I mean, it's owned by the family of River Phoenix. They actually have 2 floors. And if you get a drink on the 2nd floor, they let you skip the line on the 1st floor. Makes total sense. Also, shout out to my girl for getting us on the list for the 2nd floor. You really have to know the tricks of the trade to get into these clubs. They still have his name and number above the door. Apparently, he used to hang out there all the time. I wasn't able to get in though. They wouldn't let me in without a reservation. So I'm starting to think this is a trend. With LA clubs, you know, maybe not the trendiest spots, but definitely a solid place to check out if you're in the area. And I would definitely come back here again. The night started pretty typically. I had dinner at this restaurant in West Hollywood, and then afterwards I went to this bar right down the street. It's called the Roxy. It's a famous LA nightclub where you can see shows and they have drinks named after some of the most iconic rock bands of all time. When we left the Edison, we decided to go check out this bar called Shortstop. It's a little gastropubby type spot right next to Dodger Stadium, and normally during the day it's super chill. But since it was a Friday night and the Dodgers were playing at home, we didn't realize how insane it was going to be. There were lines everywhere, like all the way down the block. So we decided to skip that and head over to this karaoke bar that I've been wanting to try called The Spot. The karaoke rooms here are really small and can fit like 4 people max, so it's really intimate. You don't have to belt out show tunes to get a good time here. It's really about singing along with your friends to your favorite pop hits. Afterwards, I stopped by one of my favorite rooftop bars in LA, Mama Shelter. It's got an amazing view of the city, and I love their outdoor patio with the fire pits. From there, I headed towards downtown LA to meet up with a friend. We went to this bar called Perch, which has a really cool view of the Walt Disney Concert Hall. We were going to go dancing afterwards at this club called the Edison. But when we got there, we found out they were only letting people in if they had a reservation. I guess if you want to get into clubs in LA now, you need a reservation before you even leave work. No more winging it here in LA. Alright, so that brings us to the crazy part of the night, the unexpected twist. After belting out our hearts to Spice Girls classics, we were ready for some real food. After tacos, we headed back up to West Hollywood to check out one of the most famous clubs in LA, the Viper Room. So from there, we headed to the Whiskey A Go-Go, which is another legendary rock club here in West Hollywood. Then we headed over to this rooftop bar called On The Record. From there, we headed to one of my favorite dance clubs in LA, Bootsy Bellows. And that brings us to the wildest part of the night. After a few drinks, we decided to head back down to the hotel lobby bar. And finally, we ended the night at this 24-hour diner called Musso's. I honestly didn't think this night would ever end. Thanks for following me on my crazy night out in LA.